this is Dr. Din at your service. I am going live from Juvanni today because I got very lucky and I got to get my own skin infusion today. So I thought that this is a great time for me to come, and as I'm chilling and dripping here, I can also trip some information and knowledge for you guys. So again, we are live from Juvanni, and you can see my ladies hiding behind the desk, but you will be hearing from them very soon. And this is the lobby. See around, let me see if I can. This is the front, and this is my infusion. Check out my infusion. So if anyone does not know what a skin infusion is, we're going to be talking about skin infusions today. So skin infusion is very, very important. It has not caught on with the rest of the world, but in United States, and actually it has. I do see increasing popularity of skin infusions. It's very useful, and usually I recommend people to do this treatment, especially if you're in your later years. For example, if you're in perimenopause or menopause, or if you're a guy and you're in your mid 50s or late 50s, you would probably be experiencing the early signs of andropause, or which I like to call menopause. So all those times which can cause a pause in your life require a little bit of a boost, so for you to be able to get lifted out of that pause. So this is skin infusion is one of the ways that we allow ourselves the capacity of rejuvenation. Why? A question that people usually ask me is that, why an intravenous infusion? Like this infusion is like going directly into my vein right now, like a direct deposit into my skin. So why should somebody try a skin infusion, not pop 20,000 pills? The answer is that your gut, it cannot absorb all the water soluble minerals and nutrients that your body and your skin need. And in the scheme of your body, your skin, from the worst trickle down economic that anybody has ever known, because first of all, it's the outer, your skin, even though it's the largest organ of your body, it also is the outermost organ of your body. So it's the furthest away. So things really have to travel far to be able to get to it. So a lot of your skin cells never really get all the wonderful nourishment that you try to feed it. So one way to bypass the gut biome, which for some of these water-soluble minerals and nutrients like vitamin C or B12 or glutathione or B complex or some of the magnesium and small tiny molecules, it's the gut biome can seem like the Great Wall of China to cross over and then get to the bloodstream and then travel all the way to the end organ. Now, the other way that a lot of my clients who try to infuse their skin with nutrients, they can do it topically. So sometimes you may go to a place like ours and get like microneedling done or PRP done, and sometimes we even add some exosomes, and sometimes we even add some other nutrients locally in your on your facial skin. However, since skin is all over, one way to adequately perfuse the entire skin with some of very important nutrients is through an infusion, because it just bypasses the gut and your skin gets the full doses. Remember, your skin also ages. Your skin just like your heart ages, just like your kidney gets old, just like your brain gets old and experiences aging, similarly your skin also ages. So as your skin ages, it starts to lose its internal structures, and as it starts to lose its internal supports and support system and structure, you see it falling, and you see it losing its not just elasticity but also the luster and the quality of your skin. I always recommend infusions with pretty much everything, because not only it helps your skin stay young and vibrant, but also it gives you a lot of energy, because we put so many B vitamins, and B vitamins give you energy also. So it's super cool. What are the PDO threads and how do they enhance skin tightening? What is Botox? That's a good question. How often can you do infusions? Depends. So if you're in your 20s or 30s, you can literally do it every season, like seasonally. And if you are in your 40s, or if you're going crazy and you need to like be running around all the time and you have a lot to accomplish, and you want to rejuvenate very quickly in between your rest periods and periods of work, then I would suggest do it a little more frequently. Infusions are also done for certain reasons. Like most people in my line of work, when we're like skin tailors. So in my line of work, if you have like some skin problem like acne or pigmentation or melasma or some other problem, or lackluster skin or skin failing, that is something that we then will recommend infusions for you once a month. I personally like to do it once a month, because in my family we also carry the genes for arthritis. So for me it's a whole new importance. And but the initial reason, the story about my infusion, how we turned into such big believers in infusions and we promote it all the time and I recommend it to people all the time, is because I started doing it for myself initially for just skincare and one of my beauty routines. However, I very quickly noticed that it helped me with my hair, it helped me with my energy, it helped me with focus. It just allowed me to stay healthy. Like I literally don't even remember the last time I felt like seriously I suffered from any prolonged illness. I believe only because of the fact that not only I take care of myself and doing all the other important things, but one of the important things that I totally do for myself is our thing that changed were the skin infusions. Everybody has to tailor it according to their budgets, because remember, this is not covered by your insurance. This is something that is an out-of-pocket cost. I think it is a very good way to nourish yourself, because the planet Earth cannot feed what humans need for a prolonged lifespan. So if we are going to, like currently we're like around 7 billion humans on Earth. So just to feed us and keep us healthy, now we don't die at 30, 40, like our ancestors used to die at 40, 50, 60 at the most. But now the future generations are going to live a much, much longer lifespan. So how are they going to accomplish that? There is not enough minerals and stuff just that is produced by the planet for each and every human. So some of these treatments will become very essential if you're going to live a long lifespan without encountering diseases. Each individual client. So yeah, because everything is customized, because remember, everybody is different. We may be similar to each other in a lot of ways, but essentially we are different humans. We have different genetics, and we have different lifestyles, we have different predispositions, so we may not age similarly. So one important thing I like to say is that we may break differently, but we heal the same way. So rejuvenation protocols are kind of similar. However, we customize it according to your life, your age, your what do you want out of it, what you're looking, what you're seeking, and that's definitely everything has to be, that's a shift that we need. What is FemiLift? So FemiLift is a laser treatment for women. It's a vaginal rejuvenation. Contrary to what you may believe, a human body has two faces. One is our public face, which we show to the world. This is how we recognize each other and ourselves. However, we also have another face, which is located in our pelvis. That is your pelvic area. Now, your other face is your private face, which you show and share only with a few people in life. And remember, as you go through life, both of these faces tend to disintegrate and develop problems. And both of these faces, as you hit the pauses in your life, like menopause or andropause, both of these faces need to be lifted out of that pause. For your upper face, for your public face, we offer different medications, like anti-aging medications that need to be injected, and they assist you in keeping your face, facial shape and form together. However, for the other face, there are some laser treatments that we do, which also help you with promoting the internal organs. A lot of women, as they go through childbirth and menopause, what they experience is vaginal dryness, sometimes laxity, sometimes urinary incontinence, sometimes painful intercourse, and most of those treatments were routinely treated with either some form of oral medication, which had a series of side effects, or sometimes women had to go and get surgical treatments like a urolift for incontinence. However, recently, and it's not that recent because for the past 7-8 years, FDA has approved a machine, a laser, which is a CO2 laser for internal vaginal tightening and lift. And it's women in preserving their internal structures without undergoing surgery and without having to take a pill every single day. So it's just a new methodology. Treat the problems that you will encounter in your life. Unfortunately, again, it's not covered by your medical insurance or your health insurance if you're in United States, and but it is very, very impactful. Usually, FamilyLift, one question people ask me is like, how many treatments can somebody need? So I would tell you, like, if you are a young girl or lady in your 30s, late 20s or 30s, where you've had like a couple of childbirths that are normal, spontaneous vaginal deliveries, and you're experiencing vaginal laxity or urinary incontinence, I believe that even a single treatment can help you overcome some of the problems. And I have several clients who just needed that one treatment in their 30s and they're absolutely fine with it. However, sometimes as you get older, you may need to turn it into a routine treatment. So once a year is a good treatment, a good way to do it, or once every 2 years. I have people who just find their own, so whenever they start having the symptoms again, they'll come. So should men also pay attention to their pelvic health? Yes, that's a great question. Just like women go through menopause, men go through andropause, and usually men go through a lot of stress, and men are not that shy with it because that's the reason that we have Cialis and Viagra everywhere. So usually when men start seeing a downward turn into their hormones, they will notice a lack of energy, a lack of will, a lack of desire to get and maintain an erection. And at that point, they may turn to their urologist, seek a treatment. And usually they are given medications for their problems. However, now we also also have another laser for it, which is called Alma Duo. And Alma Duo is a shockwave laser treatment, which is a sound wave. It's not like FemiLift. It's different than FemiLift because FemiLift is like a CO2 laser, and this is like Alma Duo is like a shockwave treatment. Helps in angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is a fancy way of saying that it creates new blood vessels in the area. So usually the reason that you can get your erections is because you have blood flow in the area, because aging is nothing but a supply and demand issue. Blood is not getting to the end organ, your tissue is going to start dying and just wither away and atrophy, and that is what happens with just routine aging. One way to halt that aging is to do Alma Duo treatments routinely for men also. So again, for those men who do not want to take pills all the time, or even if they do, like if you do take pills, let's say you start taking Cialis in your 50s and then you continue taking it into your 60s, by the time you're in late 60s, the same pills, the same doses are not going to be that impactful, and they're not going to do much for you, because your disease is going to keep progressing, because that disease is happening because the hormones are tanking, they're going down, and then along with the hormones, the blood supply and flow is just getting it's not there anymore. So one way to treat that area is to keep the blood flow and the blood supply around for as long as possible. So this laser that I'm mentioning is perfect for men because it creates new blood vessels, new blood supply to the area, so that you never really experience a downturn in your erections and stuff. It becomes a very good adjunct when you take it with Cialis, because a lot of people who are already on Cialis, you may not be able to reverse the disease, but you can definitely stop it from progressing further. So yes, should pay attention to their pelvic health, and men do. Men are inclined to not talk about their problem. If they're having issues, they're gonna go to the doctor, they're gonna find their Cialis or Viagra, and they'll treat it for as long as they can. Women is a problem. Women have been taught that once your menopause happens and then you don't get your period anymore, and then if your sexual desire also goes away completely, you're fine. They're like, okay, we're liberated, we don't need it anymore. Meanwhile, your sexual energy is very important for you and for your routine health and wellness, because that is something that is going to keep you, and some of your sexual hormones create other hormones and help you collagen, feel young, feel youthful. It's great for your skin, it's great for your hair, it's great for the way your brain works. So I like to focus on my ladies, because for overall anti-aging to take place, focus on just one part of your body, which is your face. That okay, once I'm done with my face, I don't have to take care of anything else. I say that everything is interconnected. So if you're only going to worry about your face and not the rest of the body, the rest of the systems will eventually catch up. Anti-aging is not just one or the other system. Is there anyone who shouldn't get Alma Duo or FemiLift treatment? So the ages and stages that you may want these treatments can vary for people. However, the only people I don't recommend it to are the ones who have some form of cancer in the area. So because again, these treatments will create new blood flow to the area, and if you have cancer in any area, we don't want to give you more blood flow there because it's going to make it worse. So for FemiLift, I always tell people, go and get your pap smear done. The FDA requires doctors to, even the machine people recommend that in the last year, your pap smear should be negative. In my office, I want a negative pap smear in the last 3 months. Alma Duo, yes. How does Alma Duo help women? So Alma Duo, also FemiLift is for vaginal vaginal rejuvenation, but Alma Duo for women, FDA has cleared it for women also. It helps blood flow into the clitoral area. So your orgasms get better. Listen, one great thing about being a female is the capacity for multiple orgasms. There have been women who tell me that after getting Alma Duo treatments, they experience multiple orgasms, and some of them had never felt it before, and they tell you how amazing it is. My bladder is lowering. Would FemiLift help and how? Everything basically loses collagen and then falls, whether it is this face or that face. Down there, sometimes when you're, especially in your vaginal canal, sometimes there is the collagen loss, and when we do the CO2 laser, it's kind of a resurfacing laser, and it promotes collagen in that area. So the entire area gets rejuvenated. Many times, your incontinence improves, and you do not need any lifts in that area. Do you have some advice for anti-aging that we can do at home? Listen, there are some things that you have to do by yourself. So by the time before you come to somebody like me and spend money on some of these treatments, there are certain things that you need to do at home. For example, eat real food, stay away from junk, don't eat too much sugar, drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself, move your body, exercise daily, do the steps. There are I see so many people who track their steps every day. That's very important. Restorative sleep is very important. Now they even have plans for people where you can actually sleep between the hours of 10 and 2 a.m. and they say that your human body and your brain restores the body around that time. So if you miss some of your night time, it can lead to long-term devastating consequences for your body. So definitely sleep is very important for you. So some of these things are very, very simple things that you can do at home for continued health. Health and wellness no longer stops there anymore. Your exercise, meditation, sleep, hydration, eating good food, nourishing your body in different ways, staying away from negative bullshit and negative people and negative energy is also very good, because don't be in toxic places and spaces for yourself. It's all very important for health and wellness and anti-aging. However, now we have some medications and some machines which will help you, which will assist you in keeping your system integrated together and hold it together for much, much, much longer. And that's the point of anti-aging. So definitely once you've accomplished all those things, then you go to the next step. So that's what you could do at home. What exactly is Botox? I'm not scared of needles, but I'm scared of putting it into my body. So Botox is like a very important medication. It's an anti-aging medication. It's one of the fastest acting anti-aging medication is known to humans. It is like when people ask me what it does is that it has muscle relaxer. However, I can say that it is more like a meat tenderizer. So basically we put it in certain parts of your face so your face does not move that much. We don't want to freeze you. We don't want you to have like a frozen, plasticky, unnatural look. We want to give it to you in a very aesthetically pleasing way so that you look like yourself. You have all movements, but those movements are not so strong that it scrunches your skin, because the more you scrunch your skin through the years, the areas where the skin is scrunching, your skin is just like a fabric, like any fabric. So all those folds eventually remove the collagen from underneath it, and then very soon those lines, they just become they get permanently etched into your skin. So what we are doing is now we're trying to reverse your skin age by giving you a little bit of medication that allows you to retain all control your movements, but not become frozen and not become so heavy, also so scrunchy that it leaves it etches into your fabric. Nothing to get scared of. It is Botox is very, very safe. We routinely give it to like kids as young as 2 years old, because it helps relax the muscle from spasming. So it's a very, very common treatment, and we definitely recommend it. It's very important to start using it a little early on in life, and what it does is that it prevents your skin from disintegrating. And the way your skin starts disintegrating through as you go through time is because of the constant movement, and then at some point your skin just does not have the reserves to grow new collagen and to rejuvenate the structures, internal structures. Then very soon you start seeing that the skin loses its elasticity and it's falling and failing. And when your skin fails, it falls, and as it falls, it also drags your psyche alongside it. And there is a reason behind your skin impacting your psyche. Remember, chronic skin failure will make you lose the architecture of your face, your skin, the way you know yourself, the way you recognize and perceive yourself. Remember, it's really not about other people. Doing some of these anti-aging treatments is only going to protect your skin from failing and falling and impacting your psyche. Your skin cells and your brain cells, they arise from the same layer when you were only one cell old. That is the outermost layer. It's also called ectoderm. It divides into your brain and your skin. In a way, your skin cells and your brain cells are kind of related, and they do tend to mirror each other. Remember, when you look at you, the only person that is almost impossible to fool is you. You cannot fool you. When people look at themselves, their perception of selves can get distorted by not using these medications, or even by using these medications incorrectly. So not only these medications are very important for people to utilize, but also another very, very important thing is for you to find the people who know how to use them correctly, because a lot of people are just not very good skin tailors. What you need to do is to also learn who are the best skin tailors in town. What is the difference between Botox and fillers? So Botox is a muscle relaxer. So it basically relaxes your muscle, meat tenderizer that I like to place usually on the upper part of your face. And usually that meat tenderizing is we put very little bit, because we don't want you to have a frozen face. That's really not a great look. It doesn't look natural. It doesn't people don't feel like themselves, because one purpose of doing this is to help you perceive yourself the way you used to be, kind of biohacking your brain. Your brain is mirroring itself. And collagen fillers are basically hyaluronic acid fillers. As you get older, your body it stops creating fresh collagen. So after the age of usually mid-40s, we start noticing that people have a loss of collagen from their face. Every crease just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper, no matter how much you sleep, no matter what kind of vacations you go to, no matter what kind of facials you do. Because remember, your skin not only is like a fabric, but it's also a barrier that you have from the rest of the world. It separates you from the rest of the universe or the multiverse, and nothing can get past it. And the only way to actually currently revive your skin or bring it back to its former glory, or bring it back to when your skin was young and healthy, through injecting the areas that are losing the collagen. That is something that is again an injectable treatment, and it is a little bit different than Botox, which is like a meat tenderizer, which is a muscle relaxer. Collagen is basically wherever there is like a very deep crease, or it is something where you've already lost the collagen, we basically inject it in. And again, these treatments are nothing but medications. These are actually medicines. These are not, a lot of people think that where can they get the cheapest thing done, and I tell them that your skin is one of the most expensive fabrics that you will ever own. Getting treated by trained people who know how to deal with these medications and who have experienced thousands of faces before they touch your face is very important. However, depending on your budget, some very super expensive tailors are just super expensive. People have to find their right fit. Can genetic hair loss be treated with PRP? That's a really nice question. The hair loss, it's a premature aging that happens to mostly men, but also women face hair loss. And PRP is very, very important. However, PRP by itself is not going to work. You have to do something like these infusions, check these out. The reason you're losing your hair is because shit's not getting to it. Your scalp is thick skin, and sometimes the roots of your hair follicles just are not getting all the nutrients they need, and sometimes you will lose hair. Just PRP, if there is your hormones are tanking in your bloodstream, it's really not going to help. It's really not going to help if you remove your blood, that same blood, and spin it and put it back into the hair. So what I like to do is, for our hair loss protocols, is to basically give them some infusions, and then we do a little bit of microneedling with RF laser, which is like it's a laser machine that we have, which creates channels into your scalp where you can actually inject the PRP also. And the channel that we create also sends in a radio frequency energy into the dying follicle. That basically kind of resuscitates and perks up your dying follicle. And then we also inject it with PRP. Now the PRP that you create, that you get after giving yourself some really nice infusions, is going to be a different kind. It's going to be like a fully loaded PRP. It's not going to be like an empty gun. One way to treat hair loss is PRP, but again, not all PRP and not all protocols are created equal, because it depends on what you put in it. Does the IV hurt? No. It hurts if I don't get it. All right, let me see. Genetic hair loss can be delayed. If all else fails, you have to go get a wig. And sometimes you just have to embrace your hair, yourself. But I just feel that hair is a very, very important part of your structure, your overall physique. One reason that hair is important is because it also helps humans capture the energy of the sun and light. And especially if you have dark hair, gather the energy of the sunlight, and it will provide your body that throughout the day. Let me see if I have missed any questions. What do you recommend for younger people? How many steps are in the hair restoration protocols? Hair restoration protocols has several steps. Many of my ladies and gents who do hair restoration, I usually recommend 3 to 4 PRP with microneedling and RF treatments with the infusions. And sometimes when you do these treatments, the impact of these treatments takes around 90 to 120 days. Now, if you want to turbo boost those treatments, and you have like a event or something, and you want it to grow as fast as they can, then sometimes we also add something called exosomes into the mix. And exosomes are nothing but turbo boosters of this. The exosomes are like miracle grow for your hair. 3-4 at least to start. And if you've had a hair transplant, like if you've gone to some super expensive place and gotten it done in United States, or if you have gone to, let's say, Turkey and gotten it done at a very, very reasonable price because it's in a different continent and stuff, then even then, to keep the patch of hair on your head for a longer period of time, you'll still need to do some restorative treatments on your own, like PRP. So it's not just PRP. Then we would still want, in my practice, I would recommend the infusions too, because remember, aging is a supply and demand issue, and if your end organs are not getting the nourishment that your body actually needs, then it's not going to sustain itself for too long. What are PDO threads and how do they work? PDO threads or Ultherapy? That's a very nice question. Ultherapy is a skin tightening treatment. It is skin tightening and lifting treatment. Ultherapy is a non-surgical facelift. It is like an invisible sewing machine. You are supposed to do every year. And sometimes when you're much older, it can be certain parts of your face may need it even twice or thrice a year. However, Ultherapy is something that you need, like even if you go and get a facelift and you want to preserve the results of that facelift for the next 10, 20, 15, 20 years, people start doing this routine skin tightening treatments, because the thing is that your skin grows all your life. So when you're young, it's taut, it's nice, it's firm, but as you get older, your skin keeps growing like this much every year, almost very little. But over the years, you start noticing, oh my god, I have a jowl here, I have a jowl here, I have a jowl here, and that jowling cannot be treated with either Botox or fillers, because then you will just have like a pillow filler face. I see a lot of people who just treat every problem with Botox and fillers, and that's not the way to go. There are other treatments, other modalities, because sometimes to keep your skin firm, you have to use some skin tightening. Should you do Ultherapy or PDO threads? Now, PDO threads is also a lifting treatment. The PDO threads are basically surgical sutures that are placed in a way where it just gives you a little bit of lift without bulking your face, because it's not a filler. It is like a support beam. If your skin was like a fabric, we basically pull it and put a thread in, just like a tailor would, and to give you like a little pull and tightness. And there are different sizes of threads that are used. There are different models of threads. There are different companies that make these threads, and they last in your body for like 1.5 to 2 years roughly. However, threads are super important also, because remember, the dish of anti-aging for your face or for your different faces is prepared by different ingredients, as just like Ultherapy is a modality to tighten and lift skin. PDO threads is also another modality. However, I like to use both of them for people, and sometimes there are certain areas that I will tighten the whole skin and then I will lift it with some threads. Ultherapy is like 401k for your skin. Remember, once you retire and you have like some retirement money saved and stuff, you want to be able to still use it, right? And you want to feel good while you're using it. A lot of people I know end up retiring and then taking out their retirement money and going and getting a facelift. This is also one of the ways that you just keep your skin intact. You don't need a facelift at any point. And we are moving away from surgical cuttings. Most people don't want to get their faces cut, and our grandmothers used to, no, not our grandmothers, like I would say just like a couple of generations earlier, ladies would go every 7 to 10 years to their plastic surgeon and get their skin cut and pulled. And now after repeat cutting, because every 6-7 years you would need it again because the skin would again hang, and after doing it a few times, even if you're wealthy, first of all you have to be wealthy to do it at a place which doesn't turn you into into like a weird looking person. However, when you do it too many times, by the time you're in your 70s or 80s, you look like a very tightly pulled person who's trying too hard. They look very fake and phony sometimes because they can't move any part of their face, and it looks really bad. And sometimes they end up not looking like themselves also. One way to avoid that is to try non-surgical and preventative treatments earlier on, because whenever you start your anti-aging, that's where you kind of halting time for your skin. When your heart starts to age and fail, you will, and insurance will cover the treatments. Guess how much money people spend on their heart failure? But your skin failure also impacts your brain, and it impacts your mood, and it impacts your life. Unfortunately, it's not covered by insurance. However, there are treatments that are currently FDA approved and cleared that actually work very well, and a lot of wealthy people do it regularly. So a lot of celebrities do it regularly. However, nobody likes to tell you about it because it's a very private treatment. People don't like to talk about this to others, because a lot of people mistake reversing their chronic skin failure with vanity and stuff, because treating skin failure is considered vanity. However, remember, if you have any questions about it, please go into my TEDx talk, which is the title of my TEDx talk is "Vanity is not a dirty word." Vanity is a healthy amount of vanity is very important for you to perceive yourself, and you should be able to tell when you're falling apart, and you should be able to treat it now, because guess what? You're in the 21st century, and we have methodologies and ways to help ourselves a lot better than what our ancestors did. Your great-grandmother did not have these access to these treatments. You couldn't have found this from your this is not ancestral knowledge that is coming to you. So this is like new. It's science, completely based in scientific tradition and research and work. Please make sure that you get it from people who are trained, who are doctors. Definitely, who is just like I recommend highly to people that when they find an anti-aging person, make sure that it's a doctor who has given decades of life to just learning about human body and treating human diseases, because the best health and wellness person is that person who knows human body very well and human diseases very well, because only then they will know what it means for people to prevent those diseases, because they've seen it, they've treated it. Are there any side effects after getting either Botox or fillers? Botox and fillers can have side effects. So if you see everything, I sometimes ask people, what is the side effect of you driving the car that you're driving? Now, if you did not know how to drive a car, and if you were unfortunate and you were in front of somebody else who did not know how to drive a car, you can get into an accident, you can get hurt, you can die. However, if you know what you're doing, it's a very important tool that you use to get from one place to the other. Similarly, I heard somewhere once that a surgical scalpel in the hands of a surgeon can save your life, but that same scalpel in the hands of a 2-year-old who doesn't know what they're doing can kill you or themselves. These tools have these medications. These are anti-aging medications. They reverse your skin age. They reverse chronic skin failure for yourself and others. So just remember that somebody who's experienced will not give you any side effects. But there are always the impact of a bruise. You can always get a bruise here and there. But remember, between a wrinkle and a bruise, choose the bruise, because a bruise is going to heal. What is a pillow filler face? So if somebody is aging and their skin is becoming lax and sagging, and they try to reverse it with just filling it with fillers, that may look a bit overdone. They may look a bit overdone, and they may not even look like themselves. And that is something where we say that instead of getting tightening treatments, they were mistreated. So that can sometimes happen if you go to a provider who does not have more than one or two tools. You wanna because there are several things that will help you. You have to treat it with not just injectable medications but also machines. Make sure that your provider also is trained with machines. A lot of things, you don't want somebody who just knows how to do one or two things. They have to learn several different modalities into it, and it can take time, and that's why you want to go to somebody who's very experienced. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I may not be the most experienced, but I've been doing it for 12 years. And over the last 12 years, pretty much every year we train on new technologies. In the end, they all come together and it helps us fight off aging for people. I think I answered a whole bunch of questions. How do lipotropic shots help you reduce weight? Very good question. So lipotropic shots are basically our energy that we add. We add like mega doses of methylated B12, and we also give you some MIC with it, which is like kind of a liver cleanse. It actually helps you get not just energy, but also your liver so you really feel like a rush of energy, and because of that, a lot of people can go and work out more and they don't feel hungry. And sometimes, when your body does not have some of these essential minerals like methionine, inositol, choline, your brain keeps triggering you to go and eat something. And people usually sometimes overeat just because they're lacking in essential minerals and nutrients. So sometimes by just giving yourself some energy plus some of these very essential minerals, even though they have to be given in very tiny amounts, it helps them curb their appetite and it gives them that rush of energy. They don't feel like as if their body does not have the resources when to go and work out. They are very good adjuncts for our weight reduction diet. So lipotropic shots are combined with other treatments like HCG, and especially with diets where you're not eating that much, but you also don't want to feel weak because you're not eating that much. So we always it depends, because these are again, people are also, when they're trying to help themselves with obesity management or anything, these are out-of-pocket costs. So it depends on what your budgets are. However, we do combine it if you're able to afford it. Like I would tell you that I am doing right now my infusion, and it is like, guess what, guys? My infusion is almost done. I just recently there was like a night when I couldn't really sleep very well. Came and I had like so many things to do the next day and the next evening. I went and I had to go into the city and stuff. I asked my medical assistant to give me a lipotropic shot, and I felt energy. I did, and now just a few days later, I am doing an infusion. I just basically reduced the amounts of B12 and the MIC that I would have added here, and that's how we help ourselves. They can be administered several times. If you're on HCG, many times people come and they do a shot with every time they do the injections. So we can help you. A very important question, like today I had somebody who came to me and they were looking for facial hair removal, and I informed them that we don't recommend doing hair removal on your face during summertime. Please do it in the wintertime. And during wintertime, you have less exposure to sun. I just don't like sun exposure after laser treatments. In my office, lasers are done in the wintertime. What are B12 shots? How often should you get PDO? PDO threads should be done whenever you need them. Whenever Ultherapy alone cannot fix or pull it up. Usually in your 70s or late 60s or 70s, that's when you need Ultherapy and PDO threads to be layered once a year, once or twice a year, depending on the size of threads. And what are B12 shots? B12 shots are energy shots. B12 is a vitamin. It is a water-soluble vitamin. I like to use it in a methylated form. Guys, one thing that you want to be aware of is that the vitamins that we give in your infusion or as an intramuscular shot, we don't like to put preservatives in it. Because remember, when you take the pills, the over-the-counter pills or the pills that stay in your they stay in the GNC shop or your favorite store for a year before you pick it, and then you put it in your shelf for years, they have a lot of preservatives in it. And many times some of those vitamins, water soluble vitamins, you will basically, none of it will get absorbed except for the preservatives that is going to go and lodge in your liver. That's why sometimes a lot of people, they take a lot of oral vitamins and they're like, oh my god, I take so many vitamins and I still feel shitty. And the reason is probably because they just overload themselves with preservatives. A great way to preserve yourself from preservatives is to get infusions with vitamins that do not have preservatives. So make sure that when you find a place where they're offering infusions, you make sure that they use products that do not have preservatives in it. I love you. Thank you for asking all the questions. Thank you, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.